So you probably clicked on this video thinking, how does somebody accidentally make a dream game? You'd probably be even more confused when I told you that not only did I not have a dream game, I don't even think people should make a dream game. So how did I get here? How did I go from animating a horse doing a funny dodge roll to releasing my first game on Steam? Ahoy! By the way, if you're new here, this is my game Boss Up. You're gonna learn a lot more about it, but for right now, all you need to know is that it's on Steam right now. If you like what you see, go check out the demo and add the game to your wishlist. Now, back to the story. So, to explain how I got here, we have to go back. Before Boss Up, before Serving Up Spells, before this game that I never gave a title, all the way back to the spring of 2022. I was fresh off the first half of my senior year. The musical I was in had wrapped in November. I was accepted to my dream school for game design, and I was astonishingly bored. Ever since 2018, I had an interest in making my own games, and during the pandemic, I finished my first few small projects, but I had yet to make a full game. In comes the inspiration, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. A game that was so good, I had to sit down and take a crack at making something even a fraction as impressive. The finale specifically was what spoke to me. I saw it and immediately wanted to dream up ways that I could make an awesome finale myself. But to make an awesome final boss, you kinda have to make the rest of the game too. So thus, Eternia Escape was born. Now this game is not the dream game in question. You might have noticed. It was a rush of inspiration, drawing from my love of Kirby and my recent foray into the Metroid series. It combined simple platforming with tight obstacles and flashy boss fights. The game would have 6 levels, each with a fight at the end. It would all culminate in a gauntlet of a final level, combining hazards from the previous 5 stages on an epic clock tower backdrop. The action would swell and the journey would climax. All the lore that players had been reading throughout the game would culminate in this epic final twist, revealing the true nature of the namesake laboratories. I had created all 6 levels and their respective bosses, crafted the final boss with the crazy lore reveal, and started producing the endgame content. But then something went wrong. I went off to college. That fall, I learned that boredom wasn't going to work as a motivator to keep me working on the game, because I stopped being bored. Classes and my social life kept me occupied as much as I wanted, and Eternia Escape kind of fell by the wayside. I stopped talking to my friends about it, and when people asked, I just told them it was cancelled. The spark to push the game over the finish line just wasn't there, so it sat on my hard drive unfinished. Until New Year's Eve. You'll notice that I'm a pretty impulsive person. And as the new year rolled around, I decided that Eternia Escape would not follow me out of 2022. The game was mostly finished, minus the optional flavor text that would explain the story and the planned post-game content, so I put a bow on it. I removed the half-finished dialogue and locked off the post-game area. Now the game was finished, so I put it up on itch for $5, spread the word to my friends, and let the game do the talking. Wow, I'm never gonna let the game do the talking ever again. My classes continued on. I improved my craft, started a bunch of projects that didn't go anywhere, and gave the job market a spin. My school recommended that I get an internship in some kind of related field to game design. Probably not in games, but maybe web design or software engineering. Boring, but I was willing to put up with it for the sake of employment, so I started sending out my resume. Over 200 applications later, and not a word from any of them, I gave up. I took a job at the deli nearby and settled in for a summer of zero career progress. It's vital to this story that you understand my headspace at this point. 200 applications in a couple of months and no results will put you in a desperate state of mind, and your brain will do some crazy shit. Mine, for example, produced the idea of a dodge-rolling horse. A simple image, really, just a horse doing a tuck-and-roll maneuver to quickly get out of harm's way. I was enraptured by this image, and I had to get it out of my head and onto a screen. I drew up some keyframe poses before opening up Sprite to start animating. Before I knew it, the idea had leaped from my mind to the screen, and it was just as funny as I imagined. I could have moved on with my life from there, just a funny animation to show my friends. But for some reason I decided that this animation was going to be the start of something new. My next big project, the Dodge Rolling Horse game. So I whipped up a haphazard list of ideas for what kind of game it could be. I landed on an idea called Joustborn, a run and gun where this dodge rolling horse would defend his kingdom from increasingly bizarre threats from other dimensions. Notably, during this phase, I did not create a game design document. I had only just learned about them a few months prior, and I had yet to understand their full value. Besides, this was just a fun, goofy project, not like it was my dream game or anything. I'm not the guy that makes dream games. I tell people it's a bad idea, that it discourages experimentation and iterative design, and it shackles you down to an idea that you love far too much to attack critically and improve on. No, Jobsborne was not a dream game. It was an experiment, or so I told myself. In the spirit of experimenting, I also decided that I would try my hand at making devlog content. I didn't see the harm in producing a minute-long video for TikTok just to learn a little bit of video editing and content creation, so I showed off my prototype that contained about 2 days worth of work. I posted it to TikTok, and on a whim I got it on my old abandoned YouTube channel as well. I then proceeded to forget about it and go on vacation to Pennsylvania. When I came home, I checked the TikTok to see how it was doing. Not bad, a few friends watched it and it got some likes. Then I checked on YouTube. 7,000 fucking views. I would later learn that that's not a particularly great number for short-form content, but for a slapdash video that I made in an afternoon for fun, I was very excited to say the least. It was the most eyes I'd ever had on my art by far, and I was about to get in deep with this game. At this point I realized that I needed a better plan. If people were gonna listen, I was gonna try my hardest to make this game something special for myself and my viewers. I thought for a while about what the best game I could possibly make would look like. I considered my strengths, what people responded to in my work, and then I thought about the initial reason I made Eternia Escape, to chase that perfect final boss and hype ending. I thought about my favorite games, Kirby, Metroid, Wonderful 101, Cuphead, Terraria, and I had a realization. The culmination of my past works and all the games I had spent my life playing came down to a single solitary obsession, the boss fight. I fucking love a boss fight. I love playing them, I love designing them, and I love putting them in my games. If I was gonna make my mark on the gaming world, it would be with some damn good boss fights. So I got to work cranking out fights and making devlogs about them on YouTube. I chose my audience and made videos talking directly to the fans of the games that I loved, getting people on board with this concept of a game that's a giant love letter to all things video game boss. The plot would be about our dodge-rolling horse's quest to become a video game boss himself. He would fight bosses from other games, in a big tournament to become one himself, and those bosses would have unique mechanics that represented the genre they came from. As of recently, production on the game is about to come to a close. I've finished every boss, released a demo that people have been enjoying, put out the trailer for the full game, and I'm just adding some finishing touches. I promise I won't drop the game to randomly release it with content removed on New Year's Eve, this time, but as I'm starting to get a chance to reflect on this game, and think about the time I spent creating it and pouring so much design into the game and even getting people to notice the game and talk about it, I'm realizing that Boss Up is my dream game. I know, I'm a massive hypocrite, but it's true. This game is my first crack at making the exact thing that I love, and it certainly won't be the last. I didn't think that I had a dream game. I was going to just keep experimenting and trying new things to see what inspired me. Turns out, the real dream game was the friends I made along the way. No, that can't be the message. No, the real dream game is a boss rush about a funny dodge-rolling horse, which I made by complete accident. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I think it's fair to assume that you like to hear me ramble about shit that I really care about. I think I've made it clear through this and all my other videos that I fucking love making games, and I especially love making Boss Up. This game is the product of all my passion and wild impulsive thoughts as an artist, and it's been a long and crazy journey. If you want to support a game made by an artist who truly cares about their work, please spread the word. Wishlist the game on Steam, try the demo, tell your friends to check out the Steam page, share the video, join the Discord, or just like and subscribe. Any small bit of support goes a long way to helping me reach my dream of becoming an independent developer, so I can make more awesome stuff for you guys. See you later.